Well, this is probably going to be a Netflix documentary. Women jailed for killing parents and hiding bodies. You know what? I'm having fun, so I'm just going to keep saying it until I get told to stop. Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Well, then you could be entitled to compensation. Nobody likes getting lowballed and given the runaround while at their lowest. And I know what it's like to be left stressed out of my mind and buried in paperwork while trying to keep a case moving forward. It is very, very hard. There must be an easier way. Well, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is there to streamline the entire process so that you can keep up with everything from your smartphone if you become their client. All you have to do to get started is answer a few questions, and then Morgan & Morgan will get the ball rolling with a free case evaluation. And from there, a crack team picked from a roster of over 1,000 lawyers across all 50 US states will take care of the rest. And if having a team of lawyers, paralegals, and investigators isn't enough, then 24/7 support is available for more than 6 cohorts of support staff, or almost 4,000 if you're not Rome-pilled. Point is, there will always be someone on hand to answer any questions that you might have. And with this much manpower at their disposal, you can be sure that Morgan & Morgan will be able to fight for the best result possible, having already recovered over $20 billion for more than 3 million clients. But if Morgan & Morgan is not able to win your case, then the fee is completely free. So, if you've been seriously injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/Count Dankula or clicking the link down in the description to get started on your claim. A manipulative woman who murdered her parents and lived alongside their bodies for 4 years in their family home has been jailed for life. The remains of Lewis and John McCulloch, aged 71 and 70, were found in sleeping bags at their house in Great Baddow, Essex in September 2023. Virginia McCulloch admitted fatally poisoning her father and placing him in a homemade mausoleum and stabbing her mother to death in June 2019. The defendant, who told police, "Cheer up, at least you've caught the bad guy," will have to serve a minimum term of 36 years before being considered for release. Now, see this type of psycho, this type of like manipulative, just compulsive lying psycho. I've dealt with people like this in the past. They're just wretched, wretched people. She ran up large debts on credit cards in her parents' names, and after their deaths, she continued to spend their pensions. Essex police said documents at the couple's home built a picture of a woman who was trying desperately to keep her parents from discovering the depth of the financial black hole that she continued to dig, while giving them false assurances about her employment and future prospects. McCulloch, who previously admitted 2 counts of murder, was sentenced at Chelmsford Crown Court, but she showed no emotion as she was sent down. Detective Superintendent Rob Kirby, head of major crime at Essex Police, said that the case had shocked and horrified even the force's most experienced murder detectives. He said McCulloch had created a web of lies on a shocking and monumental scale and described her as an intelligent and adept manipulator. A missing persons investigation was launched in September 2023 after Mr. and Mrs. McCulloch's GP raised concerns about not hearing from them. Well, damn, that's surprising. I mean, however, it had been 4 years? I mean, that's kind of standard for the NHS. Oh, but we've not heard from people in 4 years? Oh, that's when they finally get around to it. Oh, those damn NHS waiting times. Police became suspicious of the couple's daughter due to her constant excuses for her parents' whereabouts and later executed a warrant at the family home. Body-worn footage showed McCulloch admit the murders to arresting officers and told them, "Cheer up, at least you've caught the bad guy." She confessed to police how she created a cocktail of drugs to poison her parents on 17th June 2019, days after using her father as a guinea pig to test the concoction. McCulloch poisoned her father with prescription medication that she crushed and put into his alcoholic drinks, prosecutor Lisa Wilding KC said. The effects were fatal for Mr. McCulloch, but Mrs. McCulloch was given a weaker dose and was merely sedated. McCulloch then beat her mother with a hammer and stabbed her multiple times in the chest with a kitchen knife as she listened to the radio in bed the following morning. She had decided to murder her mother out of fear that she might find out what happened to Mr. McCulloch. The court heard how Mr. McCulloch's body had been stashed away in a homemade mausoleum of masonry blocks in his study. Mrs. McCulloch's body was found wrapped in a sleeping bag in an upstairs wardrobe. Jesus Christ. McCulloch told police that when I was hitting her, it was like someone badly playing the xylophone. It was Willie, a psychopath. Following the murders, the defendant went into Chelmsford City Centre and purchased plastic gloves and sleeping bags on her father's bank card. Having concealed the bodies, McCulloch would go on to persistently lie about her parents' whereabouts, cancel family arrangements, and tell doctors and friends her parents they are unwell or on holiday, Miss Welding said. COVID restrictions were a stroke of luck for this defendant, yeah, of course they would be, in pursuing the deception that her parents were still alive, the prosecutor added. Very dangerous. The court heard McCulloch benefited from £149,697 as a result of murdering her parents, combined from their pensions and spending on their credit cards, as well as selling assets. The money appears to have been frittered away and not spent on expensive or lavish items, Miss Welding said, including £21,000 on online gambling between 2019 and 2023. Richard Butcher, brother of Lois McCulloch, said in a victim impact statement that his niece was very dangerous and that what had happened had undermined my faith in humanity. Mr. Justice Jeremy Johnson, sentencing, said to McCulloch, "You think more of money than you do of humanity. Your parents were entitled to feel safe in their own beds and in their own home, and they were entitled to feel safe with their daughter. You, nevertheless, made a full, conscious, and deliberate decision to murder each of your parents." This is, honestly, it's just absolutely disgusting and disgraceful. But see people like this, like genuine sociopaths and all that, where nothing's their fault. They're amazing. Get off my case. I realise that I'm being an absolute leech upon you. But oh, don't worry, I'm doing all these amazing things and they just lie to you. I had an old friend way back in the day who was like that. He didn't murder anyone or anything like that, but I had a friend back in the day who just was that type of guy. And it turned out he was stealing from everyone and everything as well. And if you ever gave him any the tiniest bit of criticism, he would turn around and make it out like you were the bad guy and you did this. And, oh, well, if I'm doing that, it's only because, but basically nothing was his fault. Nothing, even his stealing, that wasn't his fault. And everything. And he was just a fucking nuisance. Eventually, everybody cut him out. You know, I gave him chance after chance and everything because I'm a forgiving soul like that. But yeah, chance after chance, and eventually just everybody cut him out. I have no idea what he's doing or what he's up to nowadays. But I mean, your own parents. Doing something like that to your own parents and then doing the weird thing of keeping their bodies in the house and then just... I mean, if you were able to sponge like 150 grand, you could have easily, you know, just buggered off and lived in a non-extradition treaty country. You could have just done that, but no. You decided to just, like, carry on living in the house alongside them. Like, online gambling, like, mere feet away from your father's corpse and all that. Like, that honestly, I'll never understand these people. I will never understand, like, genuine psychopaths like this. But at least she's been caught and at least she'll spend the rest of her life in prison. Hopefully.